Good evening, everybody. Welcome inside Tarbell Pavilion for a non-league matchup, but one with lots of importance tonight. The Swarthmore Garnet out of the Centennial Conference taking on the York College basketball team. Bob Long, Jacob Brady alongside. This is huge, Jacob, and I mentioned it. No conference implications, but certainly potential postseason implications on the line. Both these teams listed in the top 3 in the Mid-Atlantic regional rankings of Division III, and that's a large factor, the way those rankings end up at the end of the year in terms of an ability for one of these two teams, or potentially both, to host a postseason NCAA tournament pod. Last year, Swarthmore went out to York and lost that game by 4 points. York stumbled a little bit down the stretch, and it was until about a week or two before the season looked like York was going to slot ahead of Swarthmore in terms of hosting in the NCAA tournament. So this is really a big game for those reasons, as well as some bragging rights. A home-and-home series, two-game series. Swarthmore trying to get back York after they took down Swarthmore in the middle of the state last year.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about statement wins a little bit more so in college football, but that's definitely what is on the table here today, really for both teams, whichever one walks away with the win here. Garnet have gone through a little bit of a tough stretch, obviously lost to Johns Hopkins and F&M, two conference contest teams that actually York has beaten earlier this season. One against Ursinus, but even that was a pretty close game. They finally seem to get out of their offensive funk against Muhlenberg this past Saturday, scored 80-plus points for the first time since November, scored over 80 in all their first 4 games of the season, finally got back over that benchmark in that game against Muhlenberg.
We'll send it down to the public address announcer right now as we prepare for the national anthem and the starting lineups here from Tarbell Pavilion. We'll now get the starting lineups on each side, starting with the Spartans of York College. Jason Beatty, a guy that really runs the show for this team, 17 points per game on 28 minutes. Jared Wagner right behind at 15.1 points a game, a really solid player, and a guy that this whole backcourt for York College is a strength for this team. Mike Fronheim, 5.3 points per game, but averaging those 30 minutes, and a guy that can get some steals, corral some rebounds, and throws about 4 assists a game. And the big guys down low, Joey Polsinski and Zach Novick. Polsinski, a big-time player inside. He's going to provide trouble for the bigs of the Swarthmore Garnet. Cam Wiley introduced first, a former Centennial Conference Player of the Year, a guy who does it all for this team. George Visconti, a true freshman. He's gotten big-time minutes. He's replacing Ryan Ingram in the starting lineup. Ingram still out with an injury. And Connor Harkins averaging about 40% from beyond the arc. He's a guy that will launch a ton of shots for this team, but is really efficient when letting it go. And Zach Odell with a three. Do-it-all type of guy, double-double threat every single night he touches the floor. And Nate Schaefer, the big guy inside. A lot of blocks, a lot of rebounds for Schaefer. Very much, Jacob, twin towers for this team. And the way Swarthmore is, I wouldn't say re-engaged or recreated itself, but this iteration of the Swarthmore Garnet has, for the first time in a long time, that real experience. Down low, you've seen Chris Bourne and Robbie Walsh in years past. Now these two guys kind of coming into their own as juniors, becoming younger leaders on this team.
Yeah, Schaefer and Odell both averaging about the same amount of time, 25 minutes a game. Kosmalski likes to cycle it. They'll start off in the starting lineup together. They'll generally start the second half together, but you'll see them cycle through, really trying to keep one out on the floor at any given time. And you mentioned the leadership. That's one of the biggest things that they provide. If a guy like Cam Wiley is off, they're really the veterans on the team, and they're responsible for rallying the troops.
York in green, Swarthmore in white. A non-league matchup. We are underway here from Tarbell Pavilion. Both teams like to share the basketball. 15 assists on about 27 field goals for both of these teams per game. Man-to-man start here for York. Odell thought about going up from the foul line. Patience here from the Garnet. Now he fires it away. Well short. The rebound corralled. Here's Visconti firing for three, and he's got it.
Good to see Visconti knock that one down early. He's been 2 of 18 from three-point land over the last 2 games. Only 6 of 29 overall from the field. Good to see that. Gets his feet underneath him there. Knocks down the early triple.
And an early offensive rebound for a Garnet team that loves to get offensive rebounds, loves to dominate that battle. Here's Visconti on the run, can't finish. Nate Schaefer, another rebound, and will shoot 2 at the line. Nate Schaefer already making his presence felt inside with the 2 offensive caroms.
York looking a little bit discombobulated almost early on. We saw the throwaway by Beatty on the other end, which led to the fast break for the Garnet. But you mentioned those 2 offensive boards by Schaefer in the first minute of this game, showing that the Garnet are really dominating, maintaining their focus so far in this game.
Schaefer, a 57% foul shooter on the year, hits the first. In and out, another offensive rebound. Thought Odell was hacked. Schaefer gets it back. That's 3 offensive rebounds for Schaefer. Connor Harkins for 3, and the Garnet have it all going on so far. 7-0 to start this one. Garnet stay in the man-to-man. Beatty gets to the baseline, a wild pass. That'll find its way out there, and a good 3-ball. Zach Novick, the 6'6 junior. And full court pressure for the first time, and that one's thrown away. It will go back to York. So the Garnet perhaps weren't ready for that one, Jacob, and that's the benefit, in addition to putting points on the board, of making a shot. You have the opportunity to set up the full court pressure if you'd like, and I don't think the Garnet were ready. Not nearly the aggressive cut that you need and decisive cut to get to the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were I think they were a little bit confused on that whole sequence, not necessarily expecting the shot from Novick. Only hits about 20% of his three-pointers, but left wide open, able to drain it.
Jared Wagner has it on the right wing. He pops open and fires it for 3, and it's 7-6 just like that.
Interesting shot choice there, but, you know, he knocks it down over Visconti, so.
The team likes to shoot it from deep. It was 83-79 when these two teams met last year. A lot of possessions, a lot of points. Odell for three. That one won't go. Tipped back and into the hands of Jason Beatty. Beatty, a point guard who loves to penetrate and kick. And there he goes. Inside and taken away there by Zach Odell. Wiley, baseline feed. Harkins, yes. Back and forth we go here.
Yeah, the game plan for both teams to start off this game looking like it's that drive and kick offense. It's been three-pointers scoring all the points other than that Nate Schaefer free throw.
Beatty thought about it. Wiley, a little bit of a flop, and here comes Novick again. No good. Beatty gets the rebound, double clutches, and finishes.
Looking for that contact there underneath the basket, but left with an easy layup.
Offensive rebounds abound on both sides. Man-to-man defense, Wiley. Now Zach Odell with 12 to shoot. Odell will drive it all the way to the cup, puts it up, no. Gets his own rebound and finishes. Very patient inside from the big man after corralling his own rebound.
Zach Odell had been stymied a little bit inside in recent games, especially that F&M and Hopkins games, those two losses, but we see both him and Schaefer early on here going to work in the paint.
Little hand check called against Cam Wiley. That's the team's first foul of the game. Here's another look, and just that little right hand, you saw the eyes raised there from Jacob Beatty. And Wiley goes on the closeout, and that's just enough to give Beatty the advantage, so he had to grab. Salah stays right in front of Beatty. Backing down Salah. Wild pass, but finds its way to Novick. No good. Boy, Beatty has a habit of jumping in the air to pass, and most of the time it's found a home. Harkins in rhythm, yes, unbelievable. Catch and fire. Finding the basket with your eyes, optional at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when Harkins is on, he is on. He will not miss a shot. There, the catch and shoot game always works for him.
Frauenheim goes baseline. Again, Novick, guarded by the smaller Abbas Salah. Now Beatty wants the clear out. Long three, top of the key. Jared Wagner's hit two like that. Little jab step and rise and fire.
Both teams really living by the three so far. If they go cold, we'll see if their offense can continue to work.
Colin Shaw traveled with the basketball. 15:02 to play, 15-11, Swarthmore leads. Matt Hunter in his 7th season with the York College Spartans. Done a great job with this program, perennially up near the top of the Capital Athletic Conference in the NCAA tournament. Last year lost in the second round to Hamilton, and Beatty, foul is called against Abbas Salah. Let's get another look. Watch that right arm extend out from Beatty. I think fortunate to not come away with an offensive foul call there.
Yeah, he definitely uses the arm to get the space on Salah. Definitely Salah selling it a little bit with how he went to the ground there, but I think could have very easily been called a foul on Beatty there.
Darren Gordon loses the basketball. Salah comes up with it. And a little bit of an aggressive pass there without any numbers. Here comes York the other way. Blocked by Schaefer and fouled. Kosmalski doesn't like the call. Didn't see a ton of contact there. Let's get another look. Yep, he got him, absolutely. Halfway up the forearm on the right arm. Good call by the referee.
I mean, but just look at that move from Beatty. That's some crazy play. I mean, we see things like that out of Cam Wiley as well. So two excellent point guards going at it, but the way he just sort of hangs in the air there and even gives himself a shot at making the layup.
Gets that one to go. Beatty, a senior from nearby Westchester Henderson High School. Good athletic programs up at Henderson. A homecoming of sorts for him. And Beatty's second shot won't go. Salah has it pulled away from behind. He's going to stay with it. And a jump ball. So that's the second time in as many possessions where Abbas Salah has forced something in transition. Here's the tail end of that one, the jump ball call. But I think Jacob would be well served to calm down a little bit, pull both of those up, because you're not getting a shot out of either of those last two possessions.
Yeah, Salah there building up the head of steam. You saw it, York very much had jerseys in the paint, so.
Jason Beatty hits that one for 3, and we are all tied at 15. Beatty can do a little bit of everything. He can show it to you, he can get to the hoop, and then he can fire the 3. Now York College goes to the zone for the first time. This is what disrupted Swarthmore in a big way against Ursinus last Tuesday night. Another turnover from the Garnet. Wiley gets it back and finishes. Sloppiness abounds on both sides, but the Garnet lead by 2.
In their games earlier this season, we saw that they were able to break down the zone with some sharp passing. Again, as you mentioned, against Ursinus, didn't necessarily work as well with a better team, a more physical team, a quicker team, and that's something that York is in the style of.
And there's another look at Cam Wiley finishing on the other end. A foul was called on Marcus Dudzinski. He's a freshman, 6'5", Greater Latrobe High School. Now a little three-quarters court zone pressure look. Garnet break that easily, and it's back into the zone defense. Wiley right over the top, yes! Well, I said it against Ursinus. It's not going to work all night, but a couple of those shooting right over top of the zone look good.
I mean, the teams are a combined 9 of 13 from deep right now. Everything's just going in.
A kick ball will reset this shot clock from 17 to 20. A few years ago, it used to be kicks reset it to 15 and fouls reset it all the way to 30. 2 years ago, they simplified that rule. Anything of the sort resets the shot clock only to 20. Counted and one. Jared Wagner bumped by George Visconti. He's not going to like the call, but once he got set defensively, he's going to nudge himself just a little bit there forward into the body of Wagner, and that's why the call is made.
Yeah, definitely sticks his body out there, tries to disrupt the shot, and great job by Wagner to somehow lay that one in.
I think we're on our way to a pretty high-scoring game here, Jacob.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I mean, York were not slowed down in those games against F&M and Hopkins in the way that the Garnet were. They were kept under 60 in both of those games, the Garnet were, whereas York scored 78 against Hopkins, 78 against F&M as well. So those defenses were not able to stop this York attack.
14 to play. Swarthmore still hasn't gotten it inside the three-point line. Now Salah's going to go bank. No good. Offensive rebound by Nate Schaefer, and he dribbles right out of it. Fresh shot clock for the Garnet. They still don't look particularly comfortable as Visconti's going to hit that one. Still not particularly comfortable against the zone. Unfortunately, Jacob, for the Garnet, they're going to have to get used to it. I mean, that film from Ursinus is out, and York clearly saw it. Now Beatty gets to the hole. Thought he took an extra step. Little strong there. And the rebound to Visconti. Here comes Cam Wiley. Had him for down. Just a second down low. Zach Odell. They'll reset. This now a 3-2 zone. This is a different look. Bringing the big out to guard Zach Odell or whatever big flashes to the top of the key. Wiley for 3 from the corner. Rebound for Odell. Visconti fires. In and out. Another offensive rebound. Garnet will reset. Back cut, Zach Odell fouled. Or no, that's actually a kick before the foul. Perhaps not. Perhaps indeed it was the foul. Let's see what we got here. Trust your instincts. It was a kick ball. They reset the shot clock to 20.
Take a look at the rebounding margin so far. 11-2 in favor of the Garnet. 8 of those are offensive boards for the Garnet. They are just dominating so far inside the paint, though it's interesting that barely any of their shots are coming from in there.
Shaw goes up, no good, gets his own rebound and finishes.
Make it 9.
Well, the one thing about a zone, Jacob, and we talked about this during the Ursinus game, is you don't have a man to specifically box out. And rebounding can be an issue out of a zone defense. And the reason York has no defensive rebounds is because there's been not a lot of shots missed. They got an offensive rebound on that one. Another shot won't go, and Odell pulled it down. Back cut inside. Too good from Colin Shaw. Great recognition from Cam Wiley. And there's another way to beat the zone, Jacob. Just beat it down the floor before it can get set up.
Exactly. The Garnet have speedy guards. Visconti, Shaw, Wiley, all of the ability to make that back cut as Shaw just did there and get loose beneath the basket.
Wagner, tough, counted and one. George Visconti called for a foul on that one. Landry Kosmalski doesn't like it. This one I didn't see as much. Frankly, I think he could have let that one go.
Maybe a little bit of a punch forward from the legs, but yeah, not much in it there from Visconti.
Yeah, I don't think he broke the verticality on that one. On the one prior, I do believe that he did. He kind of thrust, like you said, that lower half into Wagner. That one, thought the plane was maintained. Jared Wagner completes the three-point play, cuts it from 8 to 5, and now this gives York an opportunity to set up the full court pressure. Somebody's got to move to the ball, and Wiley does. Back cut Wiley, yes.
So again, the quickness, the agility of the guards there breaking open that zone.
And when they run the 2-3 version of this zone without the big in the middle of the floor, they're leaving the middle of that zone wide open. It's not as tight as what we saw from Ursinus. Harkins over the top. No good on that one. Rebound corralled by Nolan Smith. 5-point game. 9 minutes to go in this first half. Frauenheim finds Beatty, and he traveled with the basketball.
His ability to change direction and fake has been impressive throughout this game, but that time didn't get his pivot foot set.
Zach Odell returns for the Garnet. Abbas Salah will run the point. Cam Wiley off the ball. Connor Harkins at the small forward position. And Zach Odell and Nate Schaefer down low. Schaefer gets the ball inside. Inside for Odell. Great pass. Counted and one. That is what Nate Schaefer does so well. Draw a defender, eyes up floor, and Odell a great cut. There's your finish.
You saw Nolan Smith coming over there to defend. He has almost no shot of preventing that layup from Odell going in.
Agreed, Jacob, and maybe a little bit of a late reaction there as well.
Obviously sacrificing the free throw, admittedly a missed one in the process.
30-23, 8:30 left. Frauenheim running the point, and now it's Beatty with the basketball. Salah, and there's an offensive foul. A hook called against Jason Beatty. There's the little chicken wing that you see there as he stuttered and made that move. That's the first personal foul against Beatty and the team's 5th.
That's what Salah does. He's taken over that role from Jim Lammers in many ways. He's the hustle guy. He's the guy who plays good defense and draws fouls like he did in that situation.
Here's Schaefer again on the baseline. Now it's a matchup zone for the Garnet. They throw it away. Numbers here for York. Too strong. Great defense by Cam Wiley. Both Odell and Schaefer were back to get the rebound. Poked away from Wiley and back to York it goes.
That's a great job right there by the leaders, sprinting down the court and getting back there in defense. And they're setting the tone for the rest of the team.
Frenetic. One way to describe the pace here tonight. York with a rare true half-court set. Inside, had a good look, good recovery. Now a long three from the outside won't go. And I don't know if that's Polchinski's shot. And a silly foul that time from the Spartans. That is actually going to be the team's 5th foul. It was listed originally that they had 5, but only 4. That's the team's 5th, and it's Polchinski's, or I should say Nolan Smith's, 2nd personal. Here's a look at this 3-2. They're trying to give less space in the middle here, Jacob, for the Garnet to have an entry look. Shaw comes baseline and finds help. Wow, look at that pass. Here comes Harkins with the floater. It's good. But my, oh my, Nate Schaefer with eyes in the back of his head on that assist.
And put that through a real tight window. Harkins initially wanted to shoot it, but a good closeout by Wagner.
Here's the lefty love from the baseline. It won't go for Nolan Smith. Salah all the way in and gets the roll. Garnet lead by 11, their largest lead of the game. Frauenheim makes the extra pass. Darren Gordon, inside they go. Blocked by Nate Schaefer and finished up by Gordon. But Polchinski met Schaefer at the rim and was denied. Wow. Good offensive rebound there by Gordon. Odell with the left-handed finish. Good entry pass by Abbas Salah.
Yeah, when they're getting the ball inside, they are doing a great job either scoring or opening up an easy look with the kick. As you mentioned, with that 3-2, they've had Polchinski sitting pretty high. They've done a good job of preventing those entries into the block.
Harkins went down, able to get back into the play. Wagner loses the basketball, 3 to shoot. Gonna have to be a heave, and it barely draws iron. Great defense that time by the Garnet. Timeout call by Swarthmore, 5:20 to play. An impressive output offensively from the home Garnet, 36-25. They lead over York. The country's #1 ranked team from a regional Mid-Atlantic ranking perspective. So they have national polls, Jacob, to determine from a local and a regional perspective who's #1. And as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, that goes a long way in determining who's going to be able to host a regional pod in the NCAA tournament. And York came into this night ranked #1 ahead of Johns Hopkins at #2 and Swarthmore at #3. So this would do a lot for Swarthmore in terms of end of the season. Things are close, resumes are tight. A head-to-head win over York would be a big deal.
Yeah, there are a lot of shared opponents between York and Swarthmore in the form of York playing a pretty heavy Centennial Conference non-conference slate. So definitely two teams that see a lot of the same opponents, and a head-to-head win gives that edge to the Garnet.
Odell beats him baseline and finishes with the underhanded scoop. That's just me against you. And Zach Odell won that one.
Odell continuing to go to work inside. He's 4 of 8 from the field, along with 7 boards. So high output night from him, and it's only the first half.
Saved in bounds by Harkins. Another one of those jump passes by Wagner, and you get yourself into the air. You never know what's going to change, and so you really leave yourself no bailout at that point. Odell, a back cut, and he's fouled. Fouled by Darren Gordon. I didn't see much there. I thought he got the basketball. A little bit behind the play there. You see the shocked face of Gordon. I don't know if I disagree.
It was a nice connection between Harkins and Odell to even create the possibility of that.
You ready for this? They're calling this a shooting foul.
That I struggle with. I mean, he never collected the ball.
He was catching it at his waist. It wasn't like he was going up high for a tip in. These guys are going to get a lot of calls right today. I just think that one maybe they didn't see right. Harkins fires away. Yes, nothing but twine for Connor Harkins, and it's a 16-point lead.
Yeah, Harkins still in rhythm. He's 5 of 6 now from the field, 4 of 5 behind the arc, leading a team with 14 points. Great night from him.
Wagner hit a few like that. Now a long three, not even close. Saved inbounds into the hands of Zach Odell.
Another aggressive look from Nova. He's taken a lot of threes in this game so far. That's not necessarily his game. He's only 1 for 4.
Harkins fires, and he traveled with it. Little shuffle of the feet when he caught the basketball right in front of the referee. Here's another look. Just that extra hop was the difference. All in all, a very impressive output through a little over 16 minutes in this one. If you're York, big opportunity here in the last couple minutes to try to stem some of this momentum and get some of it yourself. That shot's long. Here come the Garnet the other way. No numbers. Colin Shaw's going to go baseline, up and under, no. And it hit the baseline, it will stay here. Shaw might have gotten a nice clock in the chin as well for his efforts.
Another offensive board there for the Garnet to keep the possession alive.
My question there, because Shaw's wasn't blocked and it didn't hit the rim, he catches that basketball. Isn't that a change in possession at that point? Substitution here, Ryan Wheatley into the game, replacing Darren Gordon, number 20. And into the game for the Garnet, Jared Groff, the sophomore guard out of Weston, Massachusetts. He will replace Colin Shaw.
I think this is his first time playing in the first half all season. The Garnet with a pretty comfortable lead already, but he's been sort of stuck behind that backlog of great guards.
Another offensive rebound by Schaefer. He's getting mauled down there, and that's an easy call. 4 green shirts. Schaefer finds a way. And there's the tail end there. I think there might have even been a complaint that I saw on that replay. I'm not sure that's valid.
I'm not sure anybody actually touched the ball there, just the hands and arms of Schaefer.
That shot's long from Nate Schaefer. 1 of 3 from the line tonight.
That's really the one aspect of his game where he struggled. We saw Robbie Walsh, who was the former center for the team throughout his career, worked on his free throw shooting a little bit, got up to, I think, around a 70-75% free throw shooter by the time he graduated. So,
talking about Walsh?
Yes.
He was a great foul shooter by the end. Beatty, no good. He just had that 1-2 and all-in-one motion putting it up. Wow, nice job by Nate Schaefer to affect that shot. Wiley spins, and he's fouled by Beatty. A bear hug on his way to the basket. That one's on the way up. He will shoot two at the line. Watch this right here. Whoosh. And there's the back end. There was definitely some contact as he went into his shooting motion. Garnet struggling a little bit from the foul line.
I've only hit one of their 8. Odell's missed 3, Schaefer's missed 3, and now Wiley missing his first.
One of 2 for Cam Wiley. 17-point lead, the largest of the night. 2:40 to play, first half. Bob Long, Jacob Brady here on the Garnet Sports Network. Your place for all Garnet athletics all season long. And it's taken away. Here's Jared Groff. And I think bailed out by a foul there. He was getting himself out of control and going 1-on-4. He doesn't care. Certainly a foul.
Yeah,
but without the contact, I don't know if that was going to be a good ending.
Yeah, you see the arm in there from Frauenheim. Groff maybe a little excited coming into this game, but let's see if he'll settle it down.
Hits the first free throw. Groff is on the board. Good for the sophomore. Second free throw goes as well, and the Garnet lead by 19. Timeout on the floor called by Matt Hunter and the York Spartans. Full timeout on the floor. Garnet lead by 19. A great effort tonight from the home squad out of the Centennial Conference. We'll take a break. Be right back here at Tarbell Pavilion, live on the Garnet Sports Network. A hot start for the Garnet, 17 of 29 from the floor, almost 60% from the field. They've led the entire basketball game and have owned the rebounding category as well, 23-8, with 12 of those on the offensive side of the ball. Jacob, a lot going well for this Garnet team tonight.
Yeah, everything seems to be clicking right now. Offense in the paint, offense from outside the arc, seen a little bit of the mid-range game as well opening up, and then on the defensive end, initially, York was out to a hot start from beyond the arc. I believe they start off the game 4 for 5. They've missed 9 straight since to fall to 4 and 14, only now shooting 37.5% overall. So the Garnet have done a good job of disrupting the tempo and the general rhythm of this York team. And as you mentioned, York is ranked #1 in the region, and this would be a very impressive win if it holds, this point differential holds.
Nate Schaefer, great move inside. On the baseline, that time finished by Marcus Dudzinski. Jared Groff running the show offensively. Look at this drive to the hole, blocked. Taken right off his hands by Wagner. Wagner thought about the 3. He wants to launch it. There you go. Just one of those things you can see. And wow, Salah called for the travel. Don't mind the forearm in your back by number 15, Ryan Wheatley. Let's get another look. My goodness. Wow. Let him play.
I think Dudzinski was behind him there, did enough to sort of knock him off balance, couldn't set his feet properly.
Yeah, with a forearm in the back.
I mean,
that's one way to knock a guy off balance.
If they don't notice it, it works.
Nice finish on the other end with the up and under, and now it's 46-29. Now the Garnet have an opportunity here to go 2 for 1 if they get this shot off in about the next 10 to 12 seconds. It would have to be now. That's a good look for Abbas Salah. Tees it up, no. And there's your rebound. And it'll go the other way. So now York has the shot clock turned off. It's a 17-point game. And a 2 here would bring them just a little bit closer going into the break. It's a 4-0 run here in the final 2 minutes of the half by York. It was 46-25. Trying to bring a little bit of momentum into halftime as they try to start their uphill climb back into this one. Frauenheim with 5. Frauenheim puts up a wild one, still time. Wiley puts it up at the horn, no good, and that's the end of the first half. The Garnet emphatic in every way.
It's been an efficient performance for them, shooting 56.3 from the field. Everything seemingly falling right now. You know, the rebound margin is absurd right now, 27-9. Part of that, at least initially, was that shots were just falling, so there weren't that many opportunities for York to get rebounds. It's still sort of the case, but if you look at the offensive rebounds, it's 13-4 right now for the Garnet. They are just working over these York bigs in the paint. It's that combination of Schaefer and Odell down low. Odell already with 8 points and 8 boards. He's well on the way to a double-double here tonight. So everything just clicking right now for the Garnet, and York will have to try to see if they can quiet them down in some way. You know, the outside shooting hitting as well, with Harkins 4 of 5 from deep. So everything just working at the moment, and it will be a big climb for York to get out of this hole.
Halftime here at Tarbell Pavilion. The Garnet lead 46-29. Bob Long, Jacob Brady here calling the game for you for the Garnet Sports Network. Big shout out to all our camera folks, Daya, our producer. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the beginning of the second half. Stay with us. You can find us on the Swarthmore Athletics website, or you can find us on YouTube. Just search Swarthmore Athletics. A live stream will be up on YouTube. Many, many ways to get in touch with GSN tonight. We'll be right back.
Together, we are driven. To motivate. To challenge. To lead. Every practice. Every play. Every day. Every season. 11 schools together in competition. We are the Centennial Conference.
It goes back to our origins as an institution committed to serving the common good. We come together to work, to study, because we believe it can have an impact on the world beyond the campus.
People aren't just one thing. They're not just students. They're not just athletes. They're not just activists.
Everyone has something that they're passionate about, something that distinguishes them.
SWAT calls you out on your opinions and your beliefs. People are okay with saying, no, I disagree with you and I want to have a productive conversation with you.
People are really invested in learning for the pure joy of it.
People just have a social conscious sense to impact the world and try and make it a better place.
Your academic life and your social life overlap completely. It's the people that make the place for me.
And I get a huge sense of joy from those conversations that last way longer than you think. And the conversation just changes your entire perspective on something.
Swarthmore has changed me in ways that I haven't even begun to contemplate yet.
No matter what I end up doing, I have a commitment to social justice and social change.
My ultimate goal is to use my knowledge in the real world to actually try to make the world a little bit of a better place.
The liberal arts is a profoundly optimistic way to view the world, and I think it sets you up for a lifetime of engaging with the world and with other people.
Whether they are humanists or scientists or social scientists, Swarthmore students believe in bringing the full power of their intellect and the passion of their spirit to contribute to the larger society. This is the time to celebrate the value of a Swarthmore education and the value of a liberal arts education to democratic society.
Almost time for the second half here from Tarbell Pavilion on the campus of Swarthmore College. Bob Long on play-by-play, Jacob Brady, my color commentator here tonight. Jacob, a very strong start for the Garnet thus far, leading by 17 points and dominating every facet in the process.
Yeah, it seemed like both teams coming out of the gate were going to live by the three ball and die by the three ball. Garnet have been able to diversify their attacks since then, have taken 12 three-point attempts, hit 6 of them, 18 of 32 overall from the field. On the other side from York, they started off hot from downtown. They've gone way cold since, only 4 of 15 from three-point land, and greater than 50% of their total field goal attempts are coming from outside the arc, and that's translated into this 17-point deficit for York coming into the second half here, and the Garnet dominating inside the paint. Even in the other aspects of the game, the Garnet still holding of clear margin.
Garnet come back out onto the floor and are against the man-to-man defense of York College. Baseline look, Zach Odell blocked once. Out of bounds, last touch by York College. Good recovery, that time by Wagner. Visconti nearly loses it, spins baseline, high off the window.
What a shot by him. I mean, he had been struggling over the last couple of games, and he's definitely finding his shot tonight. Now 3 of 5 from the field with 7 points.
There's another drive. Might have been tipped by Zach Odell. Now Harkins is in trouble and finds Cam Wiley. Up the floor, they got numbers. Could have been a double dribble against Visconti, but the teardrop goes. And they begin the second half, Jacob, just the way they began the first. Here's Odell guarding. Nice drive inside. And now dribbles it off his own foot and out of bounds. Last touch by Marcus Dudzinski. Here's another look. Referee in the way, but that ball popping off to the right-hand side of your screen.
I think he wanted the bump by Schaefer called, as Schaefer maybe thrust it a little bit into his back, threw off his hands.
Timeout called by Zach Odell as York ratchets up the pressure with a full court press. 30-second timeout on the floor. Now, Jacob, this is becoming a little bit of a rivalry as they have the home and home here. And York was able to come down from trailing late in that game last year to make a mini run, an 11-3 run as they took down the Garnet 83-79 last December. That was at York. And they were on a collision course in the NCAA tournament. York played Hamilton in a second-round matchup in the round of 32. Hamilton able to get by York. Hamilton then made their way here to Swarthmore. They had a three-point lead against Springfield, and Springfield hit a game-tying shot at the horn. Look at this over the top. Visconti comes down with it. Good feed inside, and Schaefer puts it in. But to finish that story, so Hamilton was a shot away from beating Springfield, and Springfield then played Swarthmore in a round-of-8 matchup. So it was oh so close from them getting another crack at York last year in the tournament.
I think they probably wanted it. I think they wanted to avenge that loss, one of only 5, I think, during the regular season.
Wagner, another jump pass. And that one has heat on it. Fortunate even to get to. Number 20, Darren Gordon. There's another look. That fireball goes through his hands. And York, listen, it's something that they do. It's something that they've committed to. These baseline drives and then jumping out of bounds and firing. I just personally, as a basketball guy, don't see it. And I think it's something where you need to be in a little bit more control.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is often, obviously, it does work for them. That's been one of their keys to their success in recent season. But tonight, you know, when that just stops working, it throws everything off, as we've seen happen here.
Visconti turns around, can't hit. Rebound corralled by Gordon. A 23-point lead is the largest of the game for the Garnet. Inside, counted and one. Zach Odell called for the foul. Marcus Dudzinski finishes at the hole. Another look inside, good feed there. Frankly, not a lot there, but he'll get one shot at the line.
And just sort of drives his shoulder in, bumps off, sells the contact a little bit, and then finishes strong.
Line drive won't go, and it's taken away. Wagner thought about the three. Cutting inside, two-handed flush, Dudzinski. And York gets a couple of baskets. They're down 21. Trying to spur some momentum here. Back cut of Salah. Grabbed that by Fronheim. And just great off-ball movement. So good. That's a thing of beauty. Salah came into the game shooting 50%, 5 of 10 in limited opportunities at the charity stripe. He hits the first and puts the Garnet up 20. Hits both, and Salah has had a good rebound after a couple of turnovers on his first 2 offensive possessions on the floor. Really has become a rock here, handling the basketball recently. Dudzinski, extra pass, top of the key, short on the 3. Schaefer is fouled, and takes a little whack at Dudzinski. Here's another look. This is going to be a man's rebound right here. The arms go flying, and the foul called against Dudzinski. Full court pressure once again. Wiley will slow it up across the timeline. Taken away. And it'll go the other way. We may have a reversal here. Watch this, right at the bottom of your screen, and they're going to give it now to York. That's going to be last touched, off the foot of Cam Wiley. Referee maybe a little bit too close to the play. Nice job by the referee on the baseline to come out and make that change. Inside again, Dudzinski. Great find by Jason Beatty. Schaefer looking for help and finds Colin Shaw. York trying to slow down the Garnet, take them out of their game, and force some turnovers as they trail by 19 with 16-19 to play.
Dudzinski didn't play very much in the first half. He started the second, has played all the minutes since, and he's done an effective job so far with 8 points.
There's Abbas Salah again with the back cut. Beatty will fire over the top. No good. Shaw with a rebound. Shaw is fouled. Tell you, the one thing I've noticed about Shaw is this kid is very tough. He comes in an undersized, small forward. Sometimes he plays that type of position. I mean, right now he's the second guard on the floor, but there are times where he's asked to mix it up with the big boys. And as a true freshman out of Cincinnati, Ohio, I happen to know they play some tough basketball in Cincinnati, Ohio. I love what he brings to the floor.
Yeah, some blue-collar basketball, you might say. Just appropriate for a Cincinnati kid, and he just plays tough.
Abbas Salah. Harkins steps in, fires away, no good. Salah can't finish, and a foul's going to be called. Jason Beatty and Nate Schaefer got mixed up, and it'll stay here. It's actually going to be number 33, Marcus Dudzinski, on the discard. He was not one of the two bodies that went flying, Jacob.
Yeah, I assumed it was on that tangle up between Beatty and Schaefer, but nothing there.
So Dudzinski, you mentioned his quality minutes. Along with that, 3 now personal fouls. So he's going to take a seat with those 3 personals, and they'll bring on number 30, Joey Polchinski.
Yeah, I don't know how effective this full court pressure is going to be if York keeps fouling on these inbounds, because they've already gotten into 4 fouls in the first 4+ minutes of the second half. They definitely don't want to be in foul trouble if they can help it. That's just another way to let the game continue to get away from them.
Here's Beatty on the drive. Can't finish. They thought there was a foul, and now a turnover. Open 3 from the corner, no good, and Odell comes up with it. He's going to throw this one away. They say tipped. Tipped by Mike Fraunheim. I don't think it was tipped. I think if anything it was a foul. Here's another look. Clearly not tipped, Jacob.
Yeah, it's a bad call there. I thought maybe if anybody, Salah might have gotten a fingertip on it.
But there's no doubt the Garnet getting sped up a little bit with this full court pressure.
We saw the football pass from Odell earlier. That's one way to break it. He might have a future in the NFL.
Shaw with 6. Shaw looking for help. Salah will pull up and rebound, corralled by Beatty. There's a jump ball. It will be York basketball, but not without a fight. Great effort from both teams on that rebound.
So it's Shaw in there again, once again getting tangled up. He relishes that physicality, those scrambles on the floor.
This one's getting a little chippy here, by the way, as well. York, and understandably so, getting frustrated. I would not be surprised to see a little bit more chippiness as the game goes on. Nice back cut there from Jared Wagner and a find by Jason Beatty. 20-point game, 14:36 to play. Jason Beatty called for the foul. That is Beatty's third personal, team's fifth. Some of the York faithful not particularly thrilled with the foul disparity here in the second half. 5 for York and 1 for Swarthmore.
I mean, definitely look there. Beatty was certainly moving, shuffling his feet horizontally, but it looked like he was thrusting out a little bit, and that caused the foul to be called.
Beatty with the 3, and it's down to 17 with 14 minutes to go. A long way still to play. Odell spins and finishes. Great job turning to the baseline, away from the oncoming second defender, Beatty, and a great finish. Here's a drive, maybe a little push-off, can't finish. Odell is there, and an offensive foul. Woo! Went down like he was hit by a truck.
I mean, the way in which Odell swung there, his elbow, I thought maybe you could have called that flagrant.
Oh, I don't think so. I think
maybe the angle corrupts it a little bit, but
so that's the second personal on Zach Odell. And again, I think you're going to see more of this. I think you're going to see increased chippiness. And a foul called against the Abbas Salah. More and more physical it gets. And expect a whistle fest for a couple minutes here. Again, Beatty a little bit out of control there, but gets the benefit of the call as Abbas Salah chips him a little bit. Gordon has the basketball. Here's Beatty. Baseline drive, can't finish. Visconti has it. Shaw, nice run to the hole there. He'll shoot 2 at the line. Here's another look at that pass. Just one dribble from the three-point line. Those long strides takes him to the hole.
Tom driving right into the heart of the York defense in the paint, and again, just relishing that contact down low.
Full timeout on the floor. 13-18 left. Swarthmore leads 59-40. And it's getting a little physical, getting a little ugly. York happy to play that game, grind it out, and push their way back into this one. We'll have a lot more for you on the other side. Six team fouls on the York College Spartans. Colin Shaw will go to the line to shoot 2. Bob Long, Jacob Brady here with the Garnet Sports Network. Appreciate everybody being with us, whether on YouTube or on the Swarthmore Garnet Athletics website. That's swarthmoreathletics.com. Wherever and however you're joining us, we appreciate it. Back to a 20-point lead for the Garnet. But I say it again, Jacob, the way York can score and the way they've shown it in spurts here in the second half, far from over. And I think the Garnet are going to get their best shot.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised by how they came out of the gate with that, shooting from the outside and, again, living by the three, dying by the three. They've changed that approach in the second half. That's not really their game plan. That's not who they are necessarily as a team. They like to play physically. They love those drives by Beatty, and they love to get their big men working inside. And they weren't really showing that in the first half. They have returned, really to their roots and their fundamentals as a team in the second half, and that's allowed them to stay in it.
Well, I agree with you. I think Beatty is how they're going to get back into this game. He's the quickest guy on the floor. That creates a good look. Nice job by Colin Shaw to get his hands in there. And it's Harkins that eventually comes up with it. On the flip side, the Garnet can really put this away. And they reset the shot clock. So we're going to have to get a stoppage here. But I think that the Garnet, with a couple of threes here, get this up to 25. On the flip side of York pushing their way back into this, a few of those could put this one away in many ways too.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Garnet can go on runs in a way that York can't necessarily. York has the physicality and the skill, obviously, to, trade body blows back and forth, but the Garnet can just put a sequence together and put up some big numbers in that time.
16 on the shot clock after the reset. Harkins pops open for three, no good. Rebound saved inbounds. Nice job by York, and here comes Jared Wagner. Thought about the three, now a drive all the way to the cup, no resistance. Colin Rymel, the freshman. And now a giveaway. And this is exactly what the doctor ordered for York. Here's another look at Rymel's drive with the left hand. And then the quick turnover on the inbound.
That's that full court press again, just throwing off the Garnet's ability to inbound cleanly as Odell and Salah couldn't connect.
Frauenheim takes the screen from Beatty. Rymel guarded by Connor Harkins, looks to get it back. Instead, now it's going to be Wagner. Good look baseline. Nolan Smith for three. No good. Rebound corralled, and York's going to come back with it. Fire over the top, and he's got it. And it's a 16-point basketball game. Wiley trying to reset the momentum here for the Garnet. Nice job by York. Again, making it ugly, causing some turnovers, and now disguising some defenses to make it tough on the Garnet. Salah, no. Schaefer, no. Schaefer should have been a jump ball, now a foul. York can't believe it. I don't blame them. Jared Wagner is absolutely right. Here's another look. When he goes up here, this has got to be a jump ball, and it's just not called. Right there, Wagner gets the hand on it, and obviously there's the foul. No complaint there from York. But that play's got to be stopped. I would have given it to Swarthmore on the alternate possession, but nonetheless, that's just a missed call. Schaefer makes him pay with the first. Second one won't go. Rebound for Shaw, and he saves it in bounds. They're going to back it out and restart. Now firing right back. Connor Harkins in the grill of Colin Rymel. Timeout on the floor. The Garnet with a huge response on a 4-point possession, capped by that. Connor Harkins from distance.
Harkins having himself a night, 5 of 7 from deep, 17 points overall. He can go off as he is tonight. This is a large part of his skill set, and things weren't necessarily falling for him as consistently as he might have wanted early this season, but when he gets hot, he gets very hot.
I'm not one to engage in hyperbole here, Jay, because we're still 11:38 out, and this team for York can score. But in some ways, that feels like it could be a backbreaker right there. You had a jump ball. You felt like you're down 16 points. The offense is flowing. Swarthmore's out of sorts. And now that happens, a 4-point possession. They end up down 20, and you see the body language here on the York bench in the middle of this timeout. Jason Beatty, he whips a chair to the back part of the stands here. They're just frustrated, and it feels like that shot from Harkins, could that be something that quells a further run?
Yeah, I mean, because I think they were having success with what they were doing. It was that full court pressure, the pressure on the inbounds that got them back in, cut the lead to 16, and then you go back the other floor. You play what is solid defense. You have what should have been a jump ball, and then that somehow turns into the made free throw and then the three-pointer by Harkins. You feel, if you're York, that you just got unlucky there. You know, you played as you were supposed to, and just a question of luck for maybe.
Nice finish by Cam Wiley. 22-point lead for the Garnet. Garnet now go into this matchup zone. Baseline look for three, and he's got it. Nolan Smith. Inside, Nate Schaefer. Shaw from the elbow. Step in, and he's got it. I love that they just rewarded Colin Shaw, because remember, on that last 4-point possession, it was him who grabbed the rebound amongst the trees and created that opportunity for Harkins. Good finish there on the offensive end from Shaw. Zone look again for the Garnet. Beatty finishes over the top of Schaefer, who is careful not to foul. Harkins now taken away from him. Long three, not even close. And now Harkins is going to pull this back. Perhaps not. Wiley, no. Tapped back for Salah. Harkins will bring it in and can't finish.
I mean, I think it's important to note really just how many guards there are on this Garnet team that are worthy of starters level minutes.
I'd like to see that one again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, got blocked by the referee there, but if we did get the look, what you would have seen was a little bit of a right arm extension, and a lot of times that results in a charge. Instead, it's the third personal against Abbas Salah. And I'll take a step back. I know that I've been critical of a couple calls by these referees. These are high-level programs. It gets very difficult to officiate these games.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Beatty has been doing consistently is he's been initiating the contact, and, you know, often that will get called. We see that's what James Harden does in the NBA. You know, it's a sort of a guy in that style where you initiate the contact, but that ends up getting called as a defensive foul.
Visconti able to get it across the timeline. Odell will take it all the way in. Count it and one. Big time from the junior. Hanging in the air and finishing, and Wagner looked like he came up hurt. Grabbing at his midsection. And he really looks like he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, you do not want to challenge Zach Odell in the air. 6'7", about 250 probably. That's not something that I want to be coming up against.
Misses the free throw. It's now a 19-point game. Open three, no good, and Wiley comes up with it. And he's pulled at from behind. That's the 9th team foul. Cam will go to the line to shoot 1 and 1. I think that's just a frustration foul from Frauenheim because, again, if that's your third team foul of the half, I understand it. If it's your ninth, and you know that by pulling at it from behind, you're sending a 75% foul shooter to the line, maybe you don't do that.
I mean, that was one of the issues with the full court press, that they were bringing, that they were struggling a little bit to keep it clean. It got them 4 team fouls in the first 4 minutes of the half, and at that point they were just in the hole.
Wiley hits them both and puts the Garnet up 73-52 with 9:13 to play. Back into the zone. Beatty guarded by the larger Odell. Spins baseline, no good. Pulls down the rebound. And thought he traveled. There you go. Here's another look, an extra step. Unfortunately, where we set up that camera, the referee also likes to stand.
I think that play, a little bit of hero ball from Beatty. Might have had better options to kick it out to the perimeter. Instead, tried to keep it for himself and ended up traveling.
A little bit hot on that Visconti lob for Zach Odell. Turns it over back to the Spartans of York College. 8:45 to play.
I've only seen one alley-oop in my time here. I'd love to see another.
Which one was that?
That was Robbie Walsh last year, I think.
Yeah.
In the, might have been the Sweet 16.
Up and under. Big time from Darren Gordon. Good collected finish. And a timeout called by York. They've cut it back to 19. Certainly not out of it yet. A lot of basketball here to play.
Yeah, they're really not letting this game get away from them in spite of all that frustration that they're likely feeling right now, and a little bit deservedly so. The thing is, they're playing well. They are playing like they're supposed to be playing, and sometimes things just don't break your way, and that's somewhat the situation here where they've just gotten, you know, a little bit unlucky. They've been playing solidly. They've been playing good defense, bring the pressure, and sometimes you just, some days you just can't stop the Garnet, and today is one of those.
For York College, Jared Wagner leads the way with 19 points. Beatty has 11, and Dudzinski has scored 8 points. Big day for Wagner, very efficient to get those 19 points, 7 of 11 from the floor. He's hit 3 of 5 from beyond the arc and 2 of 2 from the line. On the Swarthmore side, it's been pretty balanced, but a big day for Connor Harkins. 17 points on 5 of 7 from beyond the arc, 6 of 10 overall. Very efficient from him. 12 for Cam Wiley and 12 for Zach Odell. On Odell's side, he's already earned himself a double-double with the 12 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. How about this for you? Nate Schaefer needs 4 points for a double-double. He has 6 points and 11 rebounds. 9, count them, 9 offensive rebounds. Trouble here for Visconti taken away. Here's a 3. Can't cut it back. That would have been a big one for York. Wiley tees it up. In and out. And this will stay. Wagner called for the foul. No. They're going to call this against Mike Fraunheim. A little bit off camera, tough to see. Must have been a little nudge, if anything. So now it'll be Nate Schaefer to the line. Swarthmore into the double bonus. 10 team fouls against the Spartans.
And that was also Fraunheim's 4th foul of the game, so he's now 1 away from coming out.
And if there is that one thing for the Garnet, it is still foul shots. They've improved since they started 1 for 8, but they're 12 for 23 on the night. Second one for Schaefer goes. Garnet now 13 for 24 on the evening. And on the York side, you know, they're going to say, hey, listen, the Garnet have shot 24 free throws. We've shot 5. And to some extent, there is some discrepancy from a foul perspective. it's also to an extent the way the Garnet have gone after things, been aggressive, etc., while remaining in control. Beatty fouled by Nate Schaefer, and I think there's your makeup to what was a light call on the other side, because just like I said on the other side, I didn't see anything there. That was all ball from Schaefer.
Yeah. Maybe just brushed the hand after Beatty had already lost possession, but that was enough for the call there.
Beatty hits the foul shot. Yeah, sometimes there are just those nights. Two teams that know each other decently well, maybe different conferences that don't like each other much, some physicality. And then a couple calls go the wrong way. I understand. I've been there. It can be tough to stay in the game as an official and make every call independent of the last. And I think there are some calls that have gone, on both sides, not the way you'd expect. And there's still 7:53 left and a lot of basketball to be played. You just hope that everything stays under control here in this one. There's a flop that time from Gordon. But again, both these teams put a lot of pressure on the referees as well. Inside, Schaefer, blocked by Beatty. It'll stay with Swarthmore. It's an 18-point game, 7:40 left. Here's another look. Nice job by Beatty to come in on the double pump from Schaefer, gave him time to get there. Trouble getting it in. Schaefer has it. Boy, an opportunity for a double there, and they missed it. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Visconti, offensive foul, as he puts a little elbow into the side of Darren Gordon. Gordon went flying, but yet a little bit of extension there from Visconti. And every call is a discussion tonight. Yeah. 18-point game, York hanging around, 7:22 left. Garnet in this zone. 2-3 look with a Basala right at the top. Jason Beatty will fire it away. No good. Shaw there for the rebound. Harkins high off the glass. Saved in bounds by Beatty, but then his foot touched the end line. Boy, I thought, Jacob, for just a second, if we can get another look here, that one comes after the play. I thought Harkins was going to go for that lob. Just leave it up at the rim and let Odell go get it.
Would have been nice to see, but yeah, I mean, I thought he had it. He had a good angle to the basket, but just couldn't get it to fall.
6:56 to play, a 30-second timeout on the floor. And a reminder of why this one's so important. Regional rankings at the end of the year are a big determinant into who can host a region in the NCAA tournament. And both these teams, without a doubt, Jacob, from what we've seen tonight and how we know York consistently is in the Capital Athletic Conference, both these teams are going to be there at the end. And so this game can be a big point of demarcation in the relative resumes.
I think also if it holds as it does, this is, sort of the statement win perhaps for the Garnet this season. If they can get like a 15 or 20 point win here, that's a big statement to the committee.
Landry Kosmalski can't believe that wasn't called a foul. And now on the other side, Dudzinski is called for a foul. I don't know that I've seen Kosmalski that upset. And there's that nudge in the back to Odell. He will shoot two at the line, still having a discussion. And frankly, Jacob, I thought the same thing. I thought it was right in front. He got hit on the forearm, and it's something that just has to be called.
Yeah, I mean, the referee had a clear perspective there. That's just a call that you can't miss. especially in a game with these kinds of implications.
Lander Kosmowski, left side of your screen, still having that discussion. Odell misses the free throw. The Garnet now hovering around 50% for the night. 13 for 25 from the line.
I think in a sense York is a little lucky in that regards that they caught the Garnet on such an off night, because you expect them maybe to be closer 70-75%. That's another 5-6 points up on the board for them.
Here's an open three for Gordon. That one won't go. Odell again pulled at and fouled by Beatty. And New York starting to lose their cool a little bit. The tail end of here. And Mike Frondheim was not thrilled with Zach Odell taking off down the floor.
Him and Beatty both sitting on 4 fouls apiece now.
Odell gets the first one to rattle around and go down. I'll say this, if they do have the opportunity to meet later in the year in a postseason format, that's going to be a war. I think there's enough bad blood started from this game as Harkin's shot is blocked. Schaefer able to send it back out, and he will try again. This time Shaw, no good from the baseline. Another offensive rebound, and a foul called against Zach Odell. It was poked away from him, and he dove to the floor. There's another look there as he dives into the legs of Jason Beatty. You know, between my color commentator, Jacob Brady, and the point guard for York, Jason Beatty, that's been tough. You know, I might start calling you Jason and him Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, I have heard Jacob Beatty a couple times tonight.
You don't say. Yeah. I can't say I'm surprised. I feel like it has come out of my mouth as well. He's a heck of a player, though, Jason Beatty.
Yeah, if you're confusing me with him, if you're mixing our names together, that's a compliment to me. I wish I could play basketball half as well as he does.
Maybe we should get a little one-on-one going.
No. My jump shot is wrecked right now.
I tell you, what I worry about with him playing him one-on-one is he is just quicker. He's quicker than everybody else on the floor right now, and that's saying a lot because you have a lot of very strong guys off the bounce for this Swarthmore team. I've been impressed with Beatty's game. Now across the timeline, here is Schaefer, and it's taken away from him. 18-point game. Thought about the three. Extra pass, in rhythm, Beatty, no good. And they've had their fair share of looks here in the second half. Just not enough of them going. Wiley into trouble, and now the Garnet should really just slow this down a little bit, Jacob. Good look for Visconti, open for three, got it.
I mean, I think, again, really the issue is a takeaway from this game for York is that sometimes you can play well, you can play really as well as you possibly can, and things just do not go your way.
Nate Schaefer did enough to disrupt the shot from Beatty. Wiley to the hole, count it. 81-58, a 23-point lead. Skip pass for Beatty. They look baseline and they'll restart it. Ryan Kendra plays catch with Wagner. Wagner throws it away, and Colin Shaw called for the foul. A nickel dimer bails out Wagner. He was going nowhere fast. And that will send Wagner to the line to shoot the front end of the 1-and-1.
A big night for Wagner with 19 points. Unfortunately, not enough for him to keep York in this game.
Wagner hits the first, and he earns his second. Wagner's second end over end, doesn't get over the front rim, and a foul called. And we actually get a stoppage first. So, lane violation by, it looked like George Visconti. He and Harkins were both in a little bit early. Second one won't go either, and Odell comes up with it.
I thought Harkins was a little bit early that time as well.
Visconti goes baseline, puts it up and good. Frondheim had it. Now Beatty, inside extra look, blocked but fouled. Odell comes through a little bit too hard, doesn't like the call, but he got him from behind. Again, he gets ball first, but he hits him atop the head, and that's an easy call for the referee.
George Visconti, who had struggled a little bit in recent games, coming back onto the scene, has played a little bit lower minutes today. He had played nearly the full game in 2 of the past 3, but only 19 minutes today, but he's got 14 points, and that freshman can definitely play.
Well, and what you like to see as well, efficiency from beyond the three-point line, shooting about 20% on the year, 9 for 44 coming in. 2 for 3 tonight gives you a lot of confidence moving forward. Really, I mean, I know they've had kind of the meat of their conference schedule thus far, but again, a long way to go, a lot of conference games to play, and roles still to be determined. You love to see that from the freshman.
Yeah, I mean, I think once he hit the opening shot of the game, you knew that that was going to be impressive from him.
Dudzinski doesn't like the call. I'm not understanding why. That clearly hit the backboard. Once it hits the backboard, it's automatic, and Marcus Dudzinski perhaps just a little frustrated. Here's a drive to the cup. Nate Schaefer takes it right off the hands of Zach Novick. Standing his ground. Boy, okay. Now I thought Wiley wanted to fire that one away. Harkins will. Rebound corralled that time by Ryan Kendra. Polchinski looks inside Dudzinski. That's a mouthful. Joey Polchinski to Marcus Dudzinski.
Also got Dobranitsky on the maybe on the bench. Haven't seen him in this game, thankfully.
Riley Dobranecki,
oh,
yes.
Here he comes.
As if, on cue, Riley Dobranecki, number 40, to the scorer's table. George Visconti called for the foul. Now both teams into the double bonus with 3:18 to play in the second half. This was a game, Jacob, that a lot of people around these parts of town were looking forward to for a long time, and I can guarantee you the players on that bench would say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw that this comes as part of a very tough stretch for the Garnet, coming off of games against, the Muhlenberg was sort of a Muhlenberg game, a little bit of a break, but coming off of games against F&M, Hopkins, Ursinus, and now York. That's 4 very tough games in a stretch of 5. They've also got Middlebury, who's nationally ranked, coming up soon. So you knew that this might sort of be a barometer for how the team is doing heading into winter break.
3 ball good from Joey Polchinski. Wiley nearly carried that basketball. In fact, I think he did. Wiley shakes, fires, and no good. That would have looked good on the highlight film. It'll be an 18-day break after this one for the Garnet. taking on a York team here tonight that was ranked as early as last week. They lost by 19 to the University of Scranton, who remains unbeaten. And what's an absolute travesty to Division III basketball is not ranked in the top 25 at this point. So an 18-day break after this one, and then they take on nationally ranked Middlebury, a team that they played last year. Cam Wiley. So last year was a lot of tough road games in the non-league. This year they get both of these teams at home. Open three, got it. Nolan Smith. Wiley makes one miss. Wiley a floater and he'll do it again. The Garnet eclipsing 90 points. They've been close, but that's the first time they've done that all season. They scored 88 against Delaware Valley.
I want to say in their opening game last year, they scored 100 plus.
Yeah,
which
against
is,
Hood College.
Yeah, very rare. Ooh.
Nate Schaefer says no. Another look there. Got one beat, you needed to beat two. Now wholesale substitutions here for the Garnet. Alec White into the game. Julian Levin into the game. Jared Groff makes his second appearance. Lee Martin is in there, as is Peter Fago. Down to one, got a launch. Didn't see it, didn't get the shot off. A minute 15 left. The Garnet leading 90-67. Wow, they got the foul off before the shot. So they'll send number 24, Ryan Kendra, to the line. It's a questionable call, no?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, so I'm not sure exactly.
Not only that, with the shot
yeah,
clock
exactly.
as well.
With it. I mean, yeah, I guess if it happened before the buzzer, then obviously understandable, but.
So now the Garnet lead 90-68. Again, not going to affect the game, but I just think it caps. There's a big bucket. Lee Martin.
Yeah. Believe those are his first points of his college career.
Congratulations to Martin. Senior guard from Chicago, Illinois, the Putney School. And Alec White gets a block on the other end. Taken away there. Kendra thought about the three. Blocked that time by Levin. Everybody's getting on the scoring column. Groff took umbrage with the foul by Zach Novick. Another look at Lee Martin, the lefty finish.
Some frustration there by Novick right near the end of this game to send Groff to the line.
He hits the first. A lot of these Swarthmore players dealing with finals or right at the end of finals. And this is a good way to go into break. They'll get a couple days off leading into Christmas then. Then they'll be back for December 30th against Middlebury. Martin going to dribble this one towards the logo at center court. Martin will dribble this one out. The Garnet of Swarthmore. A big-time win in the non-league against York College, 93-68, avenging a loss on the road last year against these very Spartans. Dominant in every facet tonight.
This is going to be the win, or certainly will be the win that will be, if not at the top, near the top of their resume heading into the postseason this year, what they'll be showing to the NCAA committee in terms of hosting rights. You know, they dominate. I think that's the only way to say it. In the paint, they were effective, holding a absolutely massive margin in rebounding, 63 to 23. And
I have never seen anything like that
Yeah.
in all my years covering and calling basketball. I have never seen a plus 40 rebounding margin.
Well, I mean, the thing is that they were making shots so well, shooting 51% from the field. There weren't that many opportunities for York to actually grab boards. There were only 33 missed shots throughout the game on which they could grab boards. But also, if you just look at offensive rebounds, 26 offensive rebounds. Again, never seen a number like that in college basketball.
Eight defensive rebounds for York tonight. You're not going to win many basketball games playing that way.
Right.
You're just not.
Yeah, but this
is
is
15 defensive, 8 offensive, I should say. 15 defensive rebounds is not a lot.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is just a statement from the Garnet. They were coming off of a tough schedule. We knew heading into this season that, you know, or at least we expected that it was going to be that offense was more dominant, defense was a little more questionable. Over the last few games, offense was struggling a bit. They weren't necessarily clicking as a team, but in these past 2 games, especially in this one, playing against such a tough team in York and putting 93 points on the board, that shows that they are right where they need to be at this point into the season heading into the break.
Big win for the Garnet. They take down York College, scoring 46 in the first, 47 in the second. A balanced attack to 93 points, the most points they've scored all year. A great percentage from the field, and obviously dominated the rebounding. Plus 40. I think that bears repeating. Absolutely unbelievable effort for the Garnet. They'll take 18 days off. They'll return right here on December the 30th to take on nationally ranked Middlebury College in another rematch from last year. So I hope you'll join us then. Until then, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays to you, my friend.
Thank you. Same to you as well.
It's been great doing this with you. Jacob Brady, he's my color commentator. Daya Shrestha, he is our producer. Had some great folks on the camera here tonight as well. And for all of them and our GSN staff, I am Bob Long saying so long here from Swarthmore, Pennsylvania and Tarbell Pavilion. The Garnet, a big-time winner, 93-68.